Hello. In this episode, we'll be looking at TABLA Touch and in particular its MIDI capabilities. Now, you may be someone who doesn't know what MIDI is, and if that is the case, I'm going to do a very brief summary of what MIDI enables a musician to achieve. But there are MIDI videos online where you can find out more about MIDI in depth. But MIDI is actually an acronym. It's 4 letters, M-I-D-I, and it stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. And it is exactly that. It's an interface between a musical instrument, be it a TABLA Touch or a keyboard, and another device, an electronic device, be it a laptop or a sound module. And in order to connect the two together, you'll need a MIDI cable. And there are many types of MIDI cables in the market, but the one that TABLA Touch uses is this type of MIDI cable. I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see it closely. And so TABLA Touch has this type of MIDI socket in it, and I've used the lead like this. It's already connected. And now the TABLA Touch can speak to the computer. Now, why does it need to do that? Well, there are 3 main reasons for why MIDI is so useful in TABLA Touch. Firstly, I can access sounds that are in the computer as well as sounds that are in TABLA Touch. That's the first thing. Secondly, I can use the MIDI interface to create TABLA score. So if I have a score writing software like Dorico, for example, and I'm a composer, I could use TABLA Touch. I could play patterns using my very bad or very good technique and then create a TABLA score for someone to play. And thirdly, the other advantage of MIDI is that if you are an owner of TABLA Touch, with the aid of a MIDI cable, you can update your firmware online. So as we are constantly developing TABLA Touch and upgrading the firmware, updates will become available, and then by connecting it to your laptop and of course the internet, we can then update your firmware. So let's have a look at the musical side of MIDI and see what's available with TABLA Touch and Logic, which I've loaded up in my laptop. Many people describe the tabla as the world's most expressive drum. Personally, I think that's going a bit too far, but anyway, nevertheless, it is a very expressive drum, and it has a whole range of tones which are produced by striking the drum in different positions, but also striking them in different ways. So I'm just going to demonstrate now some of those sounds and how they're produced. If I strike the drum on the edge of the drum head whilst holding my 3rd finger down, it produces this sound. And if I strike it in the same position but don't put my 3rd finger down, it produces that sound. So then there are closed sounds. There's also another sound closer to the black spot with my 3rd finger down. On the bigger drum, there is the iconic sound of the tabla, which is that glissando, and then closed sounds. So when I, for example, play this sound, the computer via MIDI will receive it as a note D. This is a C, this is a C sharp, and so on. So I'm going to play it now, and you'll see the notes come up on the screen, but I just want to explain what I've got here at the moment. So in Logic, I've set up 2 tracks and 2 instrument sets. And on the first track, I've set up a drum kit. Now, we all know that a drum kit is made up of lots of individual drums, like a bass drum, a snare drum, a hi-hat, a tom, etc., etc. And what I've done is I've assigned each one of these tabla notes to a particular drum in the drum kit. So, for example, when I play on the edge of the tabla, the computer will receive it as a note D, and I've assigned that note D to, for example, a snare drum. So if I play now, I'm going to turn the volume of my tabla off, so you're not going to hear the actual TABLA Touch itself. We're just going to hear the sounds coming out of the laptop. And on this keyboard here, you'll see the notes appearing. So I'm just going to arm it, and you'll hear. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a little loop and record this. I'll put it into record. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the next sound, which is a slap electric bass guitar. And arm that, I'm just going to play along on the spot here and just make up something. Here we go. So that is not going to be a #1 hit, I can tell you now, but I'm going to carry on. And I'm going to turn now the audio of the tabla up so I can play along that with a tabla sound. So let me turn the audio up here. I'm going to unarm it here, and I can then combine tabla with the drum kit and the bass guitar from the computer, and the tabla sounds coming out of the Tabla Touch. There you are. So anyway, that was a very simple demonstration of what's available with MIDI. And if you're somebody who is into MIDI, I'm sure you can create much better music than I've just done now. But it's just an example of what you can do with Tabla Touch and all the nuances and gestures that the tabla instrument has translated into a MIDI environment, which I'm sure you'll agree with me is a very exciting arena of creativity.